This next video we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting fractions. But before we can talk about adding and subtracting fractions, we need to talk about an important result known as the distributive property. What the distributive property tells us is that if we have a multiplication beside an addition or a subtraction, then that multiplication can distribute across the addition or subtraction. So we'd have a times b plus c becomes a times b plus a times c. And the way that this is useful for us is if we consider a problem where we're adding fractions, like 2/7 plus 3/7, we realize we could rewrite this as 2 times 1/7, 3 times 1/7, so that 1/7, just like the letter A up above, is showing up in both of those. And so, just like the A up above, we can pull it out. And then what's left on the inside is just 2 plus 3. And of course 2 plus 3 is just 5, so it's 5 times 1/7, which is just 5/7. That's what's really happening when we add or subtract fractions. Now in practice we usually don't write this out, but we have to understand that's what's happening, and that's why when we add fractions or subtract fractions, we must have a common denominator. We must have a common denominator. Okay, it's essential. That's really the only option we have. And that's because what really happens is this factoring, this pulling out from this distributive property so that we can just focus on the numerators. So let's consider an example here. Here we have the fraction 8/15 plus 4/15. Since they do have a common denominator, we can go through and simplify. 8 plus 4 is 12, so it'll be 12/15. And then, just like we did in the previous video, if you can, we want to go ahead and reduce. And so in this case, we can divide a 3 out of both 12 and 15, which leaves us with 4/5, or 4/5. In the next example, we're dealing with a subtraction. Once again, we have a common denominator here of 30. So we can go ahead and put our numerators together. 23 minus 14 is 9/30. And then again, look to see if we can simplify. Sometimes we'll be able to simplify. Other times we won't be. We just go ahead and, if we can, go ahead and simplify it. In this case, we can take a 3 out of both 9 and 30. Leaving us with a 3 on top, 10 on the bottom. And so we get the answer of 3/10. In the next video we're going to look at what happens when we don't have a common denominator and review how to handle those kind of problems.